Hello and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, as you can see, it is round 3 of the Moto3 career mode. We are going off to Texas, heading north up America, up to Texas from Argentina. Just before we get into the on-track action, we have a new personal manager in Olivia Jones. I am not going to sign her because she's not better in negotiations, so I'm going to leave her out. I have in the off camera, I have started negotiations with the Snipers Morelli Moto3 team Grisini and Petronas. So all three of these are Hondas. Basically, I rather the Honda over the KTM, and I want to see can I get a Honda. Now it'll take 10 weeks, which will take me up as far as Assen. That's when my contracts will be. I'll get a contract or I won't. So yeah, let's get on track. So there's absolutely torrential rain for qualifying 2. The rest of the weekend was dry in free practice and it was wet in Q1 as well. Pace wasn't too bad. I didn't go through it, I got through in way Antonelli, absolutely mucking up my line. Thanks to that one, bud. As I was saying, I didn't have to go through Q1, but it was apparently a wet track in Q1. So I am behind the 8 ball here because I have no wet track experience, as the bike feels horrendous through the snake. A very hard track this is on a Moto3 bike, especially on the onboard. Track limits are very hard to keep the bike in line. A lot of kind of blind corners you'll see 4 seconds up as Antonelli dive bombs me. Thanks for that one, Antonelli. Hey, and he's really trying to mess this qualifying lap up for me. Absolutely dive bomb me everywhere. I don't know how I'm gone 4 seconds under in the first sector though. That can't be right. This corner here especially, it's really hard to get that right. It's going to be tough to do that in the race lap after lap. So Antonelli now, he's actually in a good spot now to give me a bit of slipstream if I get on the back of him. Oh, because I have a massive front end moment. But yeah, he's in a good spot now to give me slipstream. Just tuck behind him. 6 3/4 seconds under. The AI must have not done a good lap yet, because there's no way I'm 6 seconds or nearly 7 seconds under. Don't know how to brake really in the wet for this. Yeah, I'm going wide. I'm not getting that stopped. Oh, I'll have to square it off. As Antonelli comes back at me again, I'm going to just try and block him off and hold him behind me. Not really sure if the braking mark is in the wet yet. Oh, massive rear end slide again. I just don't have grip at the moment in the wet. I feel like Antonelli's going to dive bomb me in here. No. Always have to go into the back of me. 11.3 seconds under. And we're 5 minutes into the session, so I can't really see how the AI don't have a representative lap time up yet. Not really sure what's going on really with this time. We were doing 2-minute 20s in the dry, so 21 seconds off for Pedro Costa in the wet is a bit much. As you can see, 2-minute 20 marks just passed, so I still have 1 corner left. So yeah, the delta is right. I am up by at least 10 seconds. Across the line, I'm 13.6 seconds faster. How in the name of world have I got that to come across as 13 seconds under? On to the race. So as you can see, a 2-minute 41 from Asia in second and 2:28 from me. That I can tell you right now, I'm not going to win this race, because judging by the pace that Antonelli had behind me, and he was in 17th, and he was passing me and pushing me along. There's some sort of time glitch there where the AI did not set a representative lap time. But anyway, 5 red lights and we are away. A good initial launch by the look of it. Still in. Oh, Messia's got me to my left. Now I'm going to have to try and go around the outside here and hopefully I don't get skittled. Just brake late. Now I've put the fuel right to the max just so thank you, Minyo. Just so I have plenty of fuel for straight, because again I don't feel like I'm going to be quick in this race in the wet, because I struggled through my qualifying lap, even being 13 seconds under. Now as we're in P3, if we can just get in behind Pedro Costa now, maybe he can pull us along. We seem to be sticking with him in the opening sector so far. We're not doing too bad. Just an edge tyre. Just don't have any edge tyre. You can see him just kind of pumping at the rear. Mino and Alcoba come straight through. Absolutely no prisoners taken from me. They can probably smell the blood that I'm struggling. Yeah, I've got that wrong as well. Oh, there's a massive train behind me. That's Kaito Toba who's through into P6 now. I am going backwards. Yeah, knew that. And there goes the other. That's Rodrigo, the Argentinian. So I'm already down to nearly outside the top 10, down to P7. And just straight here with the extra fuel, I might be able to burn it off and maybe get myself back onto the back of the group. As you can see, I'm like a cork bottle. I'm just holding up the whole field behind me. Already the top 6 are getting away and I'm blocking up Antonelli behind me. Into the heavy braking zone of the back straight. Not too bad. I managed to get a stop this time unlike my qualifying lap. So it looks to be a wet track for the whole race. So it was full wet for the qualifying, so it is going to be a bit of a struggling race for me because I don't really feel very confident on the edge of the tyre in the wet. I'm having a lot of front end slides and you can just see there just kind of pumping at the rear. That is not a nice experience when you're on the edge of the tyre and it's just that pumping, especially in the wet, because all it takes is to step out of line and you're down. Now we've managed to hold fort at the moment. Oh, we're onto the curb, nice head shake. And we're in P7, we're holding fort. So we have the 2 Patronus bikes behind you of John McPhee and Darren Divebon Binder. There's probably a good chance he'll come diving up the inside of me. So yeah, if you look at the times, a 2-minute 28.8, that is almost what I did in qualifying, and that's what we did on the opening lap. So we're going to be down 3-4 seconds faster than that, which means the AI are going to be nearly 20 seconds quicker in the race than they are of the qualifying time. So again, don't really know why the qualifying times are so far off, but as we go into the back of Toba, he was slow through there. Now is he on my inside? Oh, he's maybe, I was focusing on where he's, and I got a track limit spawning. Don't really have a good feeling with the track at the moment. It's really blind. You can barely see the next corner. And you just kind of have to throw it in a lot of times blind and hopefully that you're going to hit the apex. As I can think, yeah, I could just going to say, I think I can hear a Honda on my outside. Now he's on my, going around the outside. Is it McPhee? I managed to just hold him off for now. But the track limits around here are very hard. I'm kind of not really pushing to my limit just because I don't want to get it, because it's 6 laps around a 2-minute 20 lap. We have a long race here and I can't afford to get a long lap penalty as John McPhee gets up me inside. I managed to get a better exit, go to the left of the track to break the slipstream. You can see now I'm already nearly second behind Kaito Toba. The top 6 are just pulling away. It's a 1-2 for the Red Bull IO team at the moment, Pedro Costa leading and Messia who's just taken the lead. So we close in on the brakes on Kaito Toba. Am I going to get it stopped? Yeah, I got it stopped actually quite nicely that time. I must say this game looks fantastic at 120 frames in the wet. Just the whole asphalt and the water and the reflections and the spray, everything looks really, really nice. As I get my second track limits warning. 2 laps, 2 warnings. That doesn't bode well for a 6-lap race, and I can only afford to get 5 warnings before my penalty. So I need to start making it a bit more clean. Just again through here now, you can just see the front of the bike is twitching as I put the power down. I have to counter steer so much. Oh, massive head shake again. Oh, as I missed a gear, I went down too many gears, absolutely bounced on the limiter. Oh, into the curbs, massive moments again. Really just not settled in this race yet. As we come on to lap 3, a 2-minute 26.3 and a 2-minute 27.6 for me, so I'm about a good second off the pace, which isn't surprising. We're actually, after pulling Kaito Toba back in, he goes defensive into turn 1. I'm going to try and ride around the outside. No, I'm going to cut back to the outside and try and square him up into the snake. So get a good run down the hill on him, and I'll get him into the snake this time. Yes, I can. Can I hold it this time though and not get a track limits warning? No, I do exactly the same thing. That's my 3rd track limits warning, 3 laps in. I have a small suspicion I'm going to end up with a long lap penalty, which won't be good for this race because I'm already struggling for pace. I'm feeling Kaito Toba is going to come back at me any second. Ah, there he goes. On cue. Thank you, Kaita. My pace shot middle sector is just so poor. I'm taking really wide lines because I can't really get it turned. And the AI are just sending it up the inside of me. It's quite fun to watch to see him do that, but it's very annoying when I'm live racing it. Right up the back of him, almost touch him, square him up. Now see, can I get a good drive? Yeah, I got a much better exit, so I seem to get decent exit, but my mid-corner speed, my braking, I think I'm a bit off at the moment in the wet. So we're holding P6, not too bad. I thought it would have went back faster really, but top 5 just over a second and a half away from me. I'm not going to really pull them in, I don't think, as I'm in hot on the brakes. Just about got stopped. Small bit of chatter on the front end. So we come to the midpoint now of lap 3 and we're in P6. We're doing better than I expected. I just need to see, can I keep Kaita Toba behind me, because he seems to be anytime he passes me he kind of messes me up for a few corners. But it doesn't feel great still, even with the fuel goat coming down. I thought it might feel a bit better, but still feel quite poor as I'm just running wide. Just the front is just pushing through the whole lot of these right-handers here. As you can see, I can barely get my knee down. Running right out to the car, a bit wide there. Wide again there. I'm definitely going to be, as it's now Binder behind me. Toba has been passed. Darren Binder is going to have a move somewhere. You just know he's going to leave the brakes off somewhere up my inside. And I have to try and go defensive. I got a great run out of the last corner. 2:26.2, so I've actually pretty much matched Gabby Rodrigo, the fastest man on track in front of me. I've nearly matched his time to the exact second, but just a touch slower than him. So I just maybe finding my feet in this race. We'll see. The track is drying out ever so slightly. Might be giving myself a bit more grip. Oh, so close again to another track limit, and that would have been my 4th one. And that would have been 3 in that one corner. So lap 4 now. If we can keep this lap clean, we might just get away with it. If we just need to really keep clean for the rest of this race, because I cannot afford to get a long lap penalty, because in first person I've played around with them, and as Darren Binder, I've gone defensive on him. I've got a really bad exit there. He's probably going to have me into the hairpin. But as I was saying, I have played around with the long lap penalty, and taking him in first person is not easy. It's very hard to see where the wheels are and to keep it in the lines. And if you touch the line or go over the line, it invalidates it and you have to do it again. So if I ever do get a long lap penalty, I have to try and get it done in one go, or else I will lose 5 to 10 seconds. So we've held on to P6 for a good bit of time now. We do have Darren Binder behind me, and I have a feeling he's going to be a bit more aggressive when it comes to trying to pass me than Kaita Toba was. To the heavy brakings on the back straight, I just about got it stopped. Looked like for a second there that the bike was going to run on. I do just have about a half a second gap over Binder, but ebbs and flows. It's some sectors I have him, some sectors are way quicker than me. I do actually quite like this track, but on first person on the Moto3s I really struggle, as I absolutely get him way too hot there, and I spin up on the curb, and my half a second advantage is no more. I can nearly feel him behind me. He's probably looking up my inside, because again I'm just on the edge of the right side of the tyre. I'm just spinning it up and it's just pumping like mad. Quick look behind me to see where he was. Oh, and he throws it up the inside. What a move from Darren Binder. Absolutely no love lost there. Just slung it up the inside. Brilliant move from him. Great to see AI put a move like that. Now I'm going to just try my best and maybe just stick behind him and see can he pull me forward. So 26.8 in that lap, as Gabby Rodrigo jumps down into the 25. So my pace dropped a bit and the leaders seem to be getting quicker on the drying track. As I go around the outside of Binder, don't get a stop for turn 1. Spin up the curb and he cuts across my nose. Some great racing here. Darren Binder's always up for a good scrap. As I get a good run, I tag the back of him. Lucky not to come off there. Coming into the snake, try not to touch the curb, and I've got my 4 track limit warning, 3 of them at that place. So I have 1 more limit and I get a penalty. So I have about a lap and 3/4 left. I have to keep it clean or I'll be going for the long lap penalty in the stadium section. I really don't want to. In a wet, as well with John McPhee only 3 tenths behind me and Toba's right on him, I'd probably might even drop out of the points if I got a long lap penalty this stage. Trying to use Darren Binder's as a mark in front of me, just hopefully to pull me to the end of the race. Out onto the curb, bike's hopping and skipping, just about got it stopped. John McPhee, so you can see there's a bit of a little train behind me, so again, like I said, if I get a long lap penalty, I am in serious trouble. Catching Binder again, just having some, I've actually too much fuel on the bike now because I'm a lap and a half over as I get in way too hot. I'm not getting that stopped, no way. And that could be it. This could be my long lap penalty. Is a crash. Darren Binder's down. Darren Binder has lost the front somehow, and I didn't get a track limits warning, thankfully. Otherwise that would have been the penalty. So now somehow Darren Binder looked like he took the front of his own error. Easily done in these conditions. John McPhee now is right up behind me as I again just don't have any front end feeling, pushing wide. John McPhee, small little collision with him. He's going to try and hold around the outside. I'm going to back off just because I'm going to try and take a tight line, but I have a feeling he's going to hold around the outside. Yeah, there he is. He just has so much more edge grip than me. As you can see, I'm running, just pushing so much wider than he is. Now, coming on to the last lap, if I can just get in behind him, like I tried with Darren Binder, and just focus on putting in one good clean lap. P7 around here in the wet after having rough enough pace, we'll say, I would take that. So yeah, my pace is dropping as the tyre wear, even though the leaders are just getting faster. So leaders are getting faster, I'm going slower. That's why I'm dropping back as I get John McPhee into turn 1. Will I get it stopped? I go for a really tight line. I get it on the apex, but I have a massive front end moment again. Front is bobbling like crazy. So now we have just one lap to go. Final lap time. Can I keep it clean? Try and not get a penalty through here. And I've jinxed myself. 4 times I've done it. And there's the long lap penalty. The cursed long lap penalty. No, it's going to have to... I'm just going to push now because I can afford to break the track limits now a few times because I'm going to have to open up a gap to basically try and keep myself in the points. So you can actually see I'm kind of pulling in the leaders already because I'm kind of going hell for leather. If I crash, I crash. At this point, there's a good chance I'll be out of the points. I'm after pulling half a second on John McPhee in the first sector. See, he's just dropping back, so I'm going to have to just keep pushing and basically going to run the rest of the lap in high fuel mode. Run it in rich and just see can I bridge a bit of a gap to John McPhee, basically just so when I take my long lap penalty I stay in the points, as it's up to a second as I get a reminder to take it out in 4 laps. I don't think I have 4 laps, bud. I have half a lap to take it. It's in the next right hander from my knowledge, so hard on the brakes, get a stop this time, just about. It's funny, after all race struggling for pace and the one time now that I can push like hell, I'm after pulling in the front group. So here you go. Oh, it's tight, it's tight. Oi, small little slip. It's probably has no grip out here. As you can see, I'm down to, oh, I need to touch the white line. Did I touch it? No, it's done. So drop down to P13, so just down into a handful of points. Now we have a last sector to go. Can I get Guevara? I'm down in P14 at the moment, so only 2 points I think for that, for P14. Now I'm absolutely drifting around here. I have no grip. Try and run it wide. I go off track, another track limits warning. Thankfully I've already done the penalty, so that one doesn't matter that much. Can I get him into the last corner? He goes defensive. I go for the outside line. Break the ape. He's probably going to come back at me, and he does. I have to sit up, and that's my race done. Disappointing P14. So Jeremy Alcoba, the fastest man on track by quite a way, takes the win. He had serious pace in the rain. Lap on lap he was just getting quicker. Takes the win from Jaume Masia and his teammate Gabriel Rodrigo in 3rd place. I finished a disappointing P14 after being in the battle for P6 with John McPhee and Darren Binder for most of the race. So I finished 8 seconds, nearly 9 seconds outside of the win. But like I said, disappointing race. On to the next one. And I've dropped down to 8 in the championship now. I've already 30 points off the leader in the championship, so need to seriously pick up my form in Portimao. So a disappointing race really in Texas for me. Not the best race with the long lap penalty and just overall struggling for pace in the wet. The AI were really strong, and I knew after qualifying, after seeing 13.6 seconds advantage in qualifying, I knew something was up, and I'd say it was just a bit of a glitch in qualifying. They didn't go out or something properly. I'm not sure really. But I knew in the race when I saw Antonelli on my qualifying lap basically pushing me along and dive bombing me and eventually crashing into the back of me and coming off, I knew that my pace probably wasn't going to be good for the race. Even though I got the pole position and that was great, first pole of the season, I knew my pace wasn't there. So guys, I'm going to leave that one here for today. That's episode 3. In the next race we are off to Portugal for Portimao. That should be an absolute barnstormer for Portugal because it's a great track. It should lead to some great racing, lots of ups and downs, especially in first person. Should be fun. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.